Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. And so, Kat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you, but as people come on, I may introduce you again.
Okay.
So it's not because I can't remember anything, which I actually can't, but it's because I want to just make sure as people come on,
Okay.
that I'm reintroducing you. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to our Daughters of Change Thursday, and today we have Kat Power, who is a total daughter of change. She's a cool girl. And Kat is taking her unique talent as an interior designer, and she's using it to move change forward in the world and doing some really cool things that brings community together around people that could use a little bit of help. So, Kat.
Ta-da!
Kat! Boom!
Well, thank you for having me today.
Yeah,
and I'm very excited to share my concept of Healing Spaces. Is the new nonprofit that I have just officially become in January, beginning of January.
Okay, so this is new. This is 2018.
2018.
You're in on the cutting edge, people. Okay, so.
However, the concept I had come up with about 8 or 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it just, the timing was wrong. There wasn't the right time to do it. So I ended up literally having to put the concept on the shelf, put the binder and all the ideas up on the shelf.
Okay.
And I recently was involved with a young boy, Jacob Thompson, who I had learned from a television story, who was in terminal stage 4 cancer.
Okay.
At Barbara Bush Hospital.
Okay.
And there was an interview being done with Jacob and his dad.
Okay.
And they were celebrating all the holidays early.
Okay.
Because they were quite certain he wouldn't make it until Christmas. And so you may have heard of it. You know, he just wanted Christmas cards sent to him.
Right.
And gosh, he ended up getting like 70,000 Christmas cards
from
all over the world sent to him, which was really, really pretty cool.
Sorry, Jody, sir.
Hi, Jody.
Jody's my feng shui person.
Oh.
Sorry. So, keep going. You two need to meet.
Yes, absolutely. We're sitting under the crystal right now.
That's right.
So, one of the things that his dad had mentioned was that they wanted to decorate his hospital room for Christmas.
Okay.
And that he loved snow, and he didn't know how they were going to do it. And he mentioned something about mashed potato. I don't know. And I thought, you know,
I love a good mashed potato.
I know who could do that for him.
Yep.
And so I reached out to Lee Goldberg on Channel 6. He had done the story.
That's a plug, Channel 6.
Yeah,
I'll let you know my bank account information. I'm just kidding.
And so Lee, you know, because everything is confidential,
right.
So there was no way for me to reach the family unless I went through him. So he was a doll, and spoke to Michelle, Jacob's mom, and told her what this woman wanted to do for Jacob, which was to decorate his hospital room.
Yeah.
And Jacob loved penguins. He was like, penguins was his thing. And his motto was live like a penguin.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And
out of the mouths of babes.
I know. And it's very cool because his dad and stepmom have taken that, and they're doing some really great things with that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So, so Michelle said, absolutely, we'd love for you to come in. And so I got to work and started making penguins, handcrafted penguins for the Christmas tree. And each penguin had a different name and a story and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
great. So I shared that on my Facebook page, and some people saw what I was doing, and they're like, can I send you a donation? I want to be part of this. I want to help out with the cost of this.
Yeah.
And so it was really quite amazing, because at a time where we were experiencing a lot of loss, excuse me, through different gun incidences.
Right.
You know, we were having hurricanes and earthquakes and, you know, you name it. And there was a lot of sadness in the world. And this kind of brought people together.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it made them feel like they were contributing, like they were making a difference. And they did, because I, you know, don't have an unlimited budget. And so it really helped me donate my time, but they helped pay for the supplies and such. And so through that process, you know, I started thinking, you know, this is really cool. What this is creating a way for people to sort of like give back, or pay it forward. back or forward,
Right.
whichever way.
Right. Either way, it's good either way, right?
And so, so one of the folks on Facebook said, if you became a 501(c)(3), a nonprofit charity, then you could go after, grants, and you could. And she mentioned that she had some employers that probably would help out. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. So
that's how that started. So I'm going to back up just 1 minute, just in case you're just joining. So this is Kat Powers, and Kat is the founder of Healing Spaces. And Kat, I just want to, Kat just explained how she actually got started and how Healing Spaces became a nonprofit, and how it's all started out. But can we just back up for a minute, and can you explain exactly what Healing Spaces is?
Sure.
And what you do, what your mission is, and what it is that you're trying to accomplish with this personally as well.
So Healing Spaces is what we do is we go in and we create nurturing spaces for those in need.
Okay.
And what I have found is that, we're, and my other line with that is we're all healing from something. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So initially I thought, well, maybe just terminally ill children, but then I thought, no, there's lots of different scenarios, and there's lots of things that people are healing from.
Right.
In the past, when I had initially come up with this concept of Healing Spaces, how it originated was back 10 years ago, I had a client who had to leave for Dana-Farber Institute for a second therapy on her returning cancer.
Okay.
And they had just moved into a new house, literally had boxes in the garage, and I thought, Sue's going to call me anyways, because she doesn't make a move without me picking wall colors and draperies and all that. So, and I knew her family because I worked with a lot of her family members. And I said, hey, what do you guys think about setting up her home and, and painting the walls and really creating a space for her so when she comes back, and she was going to be confined to her home for I think it was 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That she has this beautiful place to heal in.
Yeah.
And so that's where the whole concept of Healing Spaces came from, because we did do that. And what happened was these family members and friends who felt that they were, there wasn't a lot that they could do.
They were kind of helpless. Like, what do you do to help? Right. And I think a lot of us feel that way sometimes when you want to help somebody, you're not sure what to say, you're not sure what you can do that will actually.
Yeah. Do I make her a casserole? Can she eat,
Right.
So this was a really cool way for anybody that wanted to be involved with creating a space for her. And so then if you take it a step further, so you said Jody's your feng shui person.
Yes.
So Jody, you'll love this, is that, the thing I experienced was having the people in the space, and I'm showing them, this is how you paint the wall, or this is how you hang the shower curtain, or whatever. They were putting their energy into the space.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's a lot of healing that comes with that.
Energy.
When somebody says a prayer and they, they're thinking about that person, and and so that I acknowledged that through this process that, everybody, and the energy in the house doing it was so amazing.
Bringing the people together. So you're finding a way to bring people together to do something.
Absolutely.
And that makes them feel better about themselves as well,
exactly.
Right? I mean, selfishly, from a selfish standpoint, like paying it forward or doing good things, I mean, you get like a boost and a charge out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels good, right?
Absolutely.
And so I just want to point out, though, that Kat is an interior designer. So this is what she does. So she's taking her unique talents and finding a way to utilize them to make change in the world. And I think that's what's so cool about Daughters of Change, is that they find a way to do things in the way that works for them, and they're bringing their talents to the table. So again, this is Kat Powers, and we're talking about Healing Spaces. Oh my God, I sound like a talk show host. Holy shit. Holy bleep! Holy bleep! Holy bleep, Batman! Batgirl, Catwoman. All right. Anyway, back to back on target. So can you talk a little bit about your background in design and
Sure.
Yeah.
So I decided to get into interior design a long time ago. I was thinking here, but it was like a third career for me.
Look, it was 9 minutes ago. That's all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And so so I used to be in marketing like you.
Right.
And I took a summer off and, thought I'd get right back into marketing, and that didn't happen. And so people who knew me said, Kat, you have such a way with, creating space. I'm always making curtains or pillows or painting or you name it.
Sure.
I do it.
Creative.
And they're like, you ought to think about getting into the interior design or decorating industry. And I thought, that's just something I do for fun.
Right.
And then I thought, well, why not do something for fun as a living?
Yeah, right. A novel approach, right?
There's an idea. So, what do I do on the weekends for fun? I'll take an old piece of furniture that I found on the, in a yard sale and paint it up. And so I launched, I basically rented a space down at Woodfish Corner and called it Decorable. And in the early 90s.
That's cute. I like that.
And so that's kind of how I got my base. And I have a lot of clients that from that time are still clients.
Still your clients. So obviously she's doing a good job, right?
In fact,
some good retention.
Bob Wakefield, who is my president of the, he's on my board.
Yeah.
He and his wife have been clients of mine since I think we decided 91.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who knew he was going to be?
Exactly.
He has an amazing background working with nonprofits, and I happened to run into him one day when I decided I was going to do this, and he became the president of the board. So things all happen for a reason. But so my approach to interior design has always been working with what people already have.
Right. Which is nice because not everybody can afford to go out and buy all new stuff, and I think that probably is what stops some people from thinking they can freshen up their house or redo their house, right? Or their space. And
a lot of times the first thing I hear when people say, oh, so what do you do? And I tell them I'm an interior designer or a home stylist. I go by home stylist now because when you tell them you're an interior designer, the first thing they'll say is, oh, I wish I could afford you.
Oh, hey, good point.
And I'm like, how do you know? Maybe I give it away for free. So, but that's the concept, or that they don't have the right stuff or the right size home.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that has always been a big part of my business is being very resourceful. I grew up, I'm one of 5 children, and my mom, she could stretch the dollar like you wouldn't believe it. And so that's how I approach my design projects.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that's really cool. I like that.
One of the Healing Spaces projects I'm currently working on right now is a family here in South Portland.
Yeah.
And we got them moved in on Saturday. They were recovering from, they had a water leak, then they had a furnace blow, so all the walls were blackened. And so they had to vacate the home. Now their homeowner's insurance covered that.
Right.
But this is a single mom who she lost an infant I think it was about 8 years ago.
Oh, man.
Then went through a divorce. She's a school teacher, so she's on a limited budget.
Right.
And raising these 2 kids on a limited income.
Yeah.
And, she was devastated by this whole thing.
Oh, sure, I imagine.
And so I stepped in and said, here's what we're going to do. Picked all the colors, and we moved her, the pieces that she have, which was not a lot, but we worked with what she had.
And they have a burglary as well.
And they had a burglary, and then somebody broke in while they vacated the property. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So yesterday, one of the rooms, we didn't have any window treatments on, so yesterday I went to Martin's. There's another plug. Should have bought it when I saw it at Martin's.
Next time I call about Take Action Maine, Martin's, you owe me.
So I went over and picked up.
Martin, send him this, please. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But just to give you an idea of the resourcefulness.
Right.
So I went in there and I found some fabric. I bought 4 yards, and literally before I came here this morning.
Is that what you were doing?
Actually, before I went to North Yarmouth for our color consultation this morning. Zoom through the sewing machine, and I just went and installed them before I came here.
You just like that?
Like that. But so now she'll get home this afternoon. She'll be all surprised because she'll be like, "Oh, look, the curtain fairy was here."
I love that. I love that. That's really good.
But when she was going through this process, and she was so overwhelmed, and as I would be too. I've been through some floods, and it's a tough thing.
It really is.
And to be displaced from your home for that long.
With kids.
With children and cats, you know. And so I'll never forget the first day I met with her, and I had some fabrics that purchased at Martin's.
Yeah.
And I said, so here's your shower curtain fabric, and this is what your daughter's duvet cover is going to be made out of. And out of all this crazy chaos that she was going through, she had this little glimpse of like, wow, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And that was like, it was almost like this little bit of light shining into a very dark corridor for her.
Exactly. So you're bringing light to
and to
lives.
me, I just get so excited. I get more excited than the homeowner, I think.
I know. And so we've had a couple more people join us. We have Matt. Matt, are you still in California? Matt's in California.
Hi, Matt.
And Deb Nelson's here in Portland.
Deb.
Jody's in New York.
Oh,
so thank you, everybody. And so if you, we've been blabbing here, and I've been trying not to look back and forth from Kat to the screen because it makes me look all shifty-eyed. But
love this girl, by the way. She was just my kind of girl.
Yeah. So no kid, right? And so we reconnected at 100 Plus with a New Care, Deb. Who Deb got to 100 Plus Women Who Care.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of jump back to say that this is Kat Powers, and Kat is the founder of Healing Spaces. She's also a really incredible interior designer. And you know, Kat, you told me what your business used to be called before, but what is it called now?
It's Kat Powers Home.
Kat Powers Home. Okay, so that's easy. CatPowersHome.com.
Yep.
So Kat goes in to places where people need some help they've had. So how would I'm not saying it the right way?
Well,
just to kind of
like the cancer patient that I had, you know, and I told you about Jacob. The project I'm working on now is the family in South Portland. So anywhere that I learn there's a need, and there was one other family, and I just can't even imagine going through what this family did. But it was another one of those aha moments, okay? Yeah. So I'm watching the nightly news. This was probably about, I'm going to say 8 years ago. And I had learned about this family up in Pittston.
Yeah.
Which I'd never been to Pittston.
Yeah, I didn't, until you said that. And I like to think I've traveled all over Maine.
Yeah. Well, I figured out where it was the next day.
You can get there from here.
You can.
Okay.
So this family had been, I saw it on the nightly news, and it was a story about the dad and the then daughter, who was the then daughter. She was 11.
Daughter.
She's still the daughter, and she's actually like just graduated from high school. So but Nikki was 11 at the time, and the family had been somebody broke into their home in the middle of the night.
This one just.
I can't believe that this happens, let alone happens in Pittston, Maine.
I know.
And some people may know this story, but I just call them the G family because,
sure.
And so they were getting out of the hospital, and both Nikki and her dad had been attacked with machetes. In Maine. And literally, she's wearing this specialty helmet because half of her scalp is missing, and dad had some eye issue, and you could see where his scalp was. It was just horrendous.
And this happened in their home, the place where you're supposed to feel safe and comfortable. It's like that's your
exactly. And I'm like, first of all, when I saw the story, it literally it just took the air right out of my lungs. I just can't even imagine having survived such a horrific episode. But then, how do you move back to a home
where that's happened?
I mean, how do we even possibly do that? And the family was on the fence. They as to whether or not they would be able to move back home.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I could.
But they had invested quite a bit of money, and they were doing some renovations.
Sure.
Now, Nikki had moved into her new room.
Yeah.
Literally less than a week before.
This all happened,
And the kitchen was under renovation, some other things. It was a big home. It was a large family. They had, I think, 5 children.
Yeah.
And so I went to it was a public gathering at the high school.
Yeah.
And it was filled. The auditorium was filled. People had turned out to help this family. So I found the organizer, and I said, can I get up and, ask for help and pass some clipboards around? And so that's what I did. Yeah. And people signed up, and, fast forward, we ended up making a lot of changes inside the home.
Sure.
Specifically where the attacks occurred.
Yeah.
The master suite was done over, and Nikki's room was done over.
Oh, nice, nice.
And I try to do things like, well, how could she feel better being in that space?
Sure.
And one of the things that we built for her was this really cool loft bed.
Oh, nice.
So she'd take a couple of steps up, and it was like a platform bed,
Yeah.
and it had curtains, and all these pinks and blues and greens, just really fun and kind of like young adolescent kind of thing. But what was really cool was if she was feeling unsafe, there was a place underneath the bed, the platform, where it had a little door that she could go into the space, and we had a mattress in there and a light and some comfy pillows and all that stuff. So that was sort of like her space.
Her safe space.
Felt like she needed a little bit more
space.
Wow,
that's brilliant. So I just want to point out here that a lot of times we see something and it overwhelms us, and we don't know how we can help, or we think about something, but Kat just kind of took the bull by the horns. The bull by the horns. I'm so getting kicked off Facebook. You're out of here. You're out of here, Sola.
We knew what you meant. It could have been worse. That could have come out worse.
It could have been worse, right? It could have been much worse. So anyway, but just the whole idea of seeing something and taking the step to do something, even if you don't know how it's going to turn out, right? It's just action. It's taking the step. It's seeing the contrast, seeing something you want to change, and then taking action to change that. And it doesn't, it doesn't mean that you have to give up your entire life to do these things, because you've touched so many people by doing this, but you enjoy doing it. Right?
I do.
So you get
I get so much joy from doing it. Yeah. And it's funny because I enjoy this so much. I wish I for my regular business that I didn't have to be paid, because I would do this for anybody and everybody.
Right, sure.
And the thing is about interior design is it's not just about making everything look pretty. It's about creating a space that is individual to that particular situation. Yeah. And really making it feel nurturing, and a space that you can come home to feel safe, feel comfortable. It's not about looking like something out of a magazine.
Which can be pretty good. Which is but you have to like that. It has to feel lived in too, right? It doesn't want to feel like a showroom.
Right. And that's the whole thing, is for it to be individual. Now back to this family that I'm working with in South Portland right now. The other night, so Saturday we worked all day, just trying to get rooms set up and get curtains hung and get beds made, and everybody got new bedding and new curtains, and of course every room and ceiling had to be painted because of the smoke damage. So for the first time in ever, the family had all these really cool colors, which color for me is like,
as you can tell,
if you use the right colors, it can really affect the mood of a space. And so the little girl, her name's Gracie. I remember the first time I met Gracie in the house before the repair, and she said, this is Jenna's room. Well, Jenna is the little baby who didn't survive. Yeah. And I said, oh, but it's your room, Gracie. Yeah. And so for the longest time, she was living in this room that she knew was her sister's at one time. And so her mom sent me a picture the other night. Their first night back was on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, so they're back in the house.
They're back in the house.
Oh, really, really
and
nice.
She sends me this picture of Gracie sitting, on her really fun duvet, which is pinks and oranges, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you couldn't have picked out anything more like her, her personality." And she's sitting on the bed and she's doing her homework, and she's got this beautiful window treatment and these really pretty soft pink walls, and she's just smiling ear to ear. Yeah. And that's why I do.
That's why you do what you do.
That's why I do what I do. Yeah. And when I couldn't sleep the other night, I'm like, I'm just envisioning myself like, what it must feel like for that family to finally be at home, but to be in a fresh new space that's theirs. Yeah. You know, so you can tell.
I love it. No, see, I love it. So listen, does anybody have any questions? So we're at about 22 minutes. We'll go maybe another 3 or 4 minutes. Unless people have questions, because we could sit here all day and talk. I can talk a dog off a meat wagon, and I think so. Between the two of us,
if you want to listen to us, we'll just keep talking.
We can talk a pack of wolves off a
ledge.
Elk?
I don't know.
Off a pot roast.
Yeah. But one thing, can I do a little pitch for Healing Spaces?
Yes, please do.
So, because this is.
Oh, they like that. See, we're getting a little.
Oh, because this is new. I mean, literally just became a nonprofit.
Yes.
The first week in January, and the website healingspaces.me.
Me.
Like me.
Yeah.
So that literally launched the week before last. So we still have a few things left to do on it, but please help us by sharing that and sending or going to the website or going onto Facebook and I'm there too.
You have a public group, right?
Yes.
So I'm just backing up so people understand how they use. So when I went in, I requested to join, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you go in, you can request to join on the public group.
Yes.
And then you'll be part of that group.
Absolutely.
Correct? And then they can, so if it's a public group, they can share the posts from there. Can they actually share the link to the public group? We'll find that out.
Yeah.
We'll find that out, and I'll put it up in the feed after the fact when this is up.
Okay.
And I'll also put how you find the public group.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not really sure.
Yeah. It might not make me do a link, but I'll put that up there.
But the biggest thing is to
and the website link.
The website will be updated so that essentially you can see what our current project is. You can see other projects. You can donate there. The biggest thing is we need donations because things cost money. But my goal is to try to do as many homes in Maine for people who are in need. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot. Hey, did you just do that? Wow. You're good. That's awesome. So yeah, just share it with anybody and everybody that you can.
And so you need donations of items.
Donations of items, but donate monetary donations.
Yeah. And what else do you need?
Volunteers. If you're in the area and you want to volunteer, you can go to the website and contact me through the website.
Okay, so then you can let them know. So you don't always know where your projects are going to be, right? Because they come up. So if you have somebody's on a list, you can kind of look at where they live, or you see that they've offered to volunteer, and you can contact them.
Yep.
And in that same sort of vein, if you know anybody that maybe is a tradesperson, right, like a builder or a carpenter, for when you need stuff built, that
absolutely.
You can let them know if you're not yourself, or
and it's so much fun to be part of.
Yeah.
To be part of this.
I can paint.
Can you? I'm going to add you to my list.
I've painted this office 5 times.
You did a fine job, I got to tell you.
You should have seen the other callers.
So on the website, there's a couple of things you can do. You can sign up to send me an email to volunteer.
Okay.
Or if you know somebody, have them send me the email.
Okay.
You can volunteer somebody if you want, but chances are they ought to be doing that. You can donate. There's a donate button. So if you want to donate to Healing Spaces, we'd love that. And then
donate money,
donate money, donate. I can't accept items yet because I don't have a warehouse.
Okay.
But
cash is good.
Cash is good, and because we are a nonprofit, you can write that off. That's the big thing. That's why we became a 501(c)(3), because whatever you donate becomes a write-off for your taxes. Or if you provide a service or a product, I can also supply you with that. Yes, with that information. And then thirdly, if you know, there's a place on the website, if you know of somebody, like let's say you have a friend or a neighbor who has experienced some sort of a loss, send us. We're always looking for recipients. And we do have some places that we look for recipients, but
so would they do that through the website, or
there's a place there's a place where you can privately send the contact information, so it's not public. So those are some things that you can do through the website. And of course, eventually we're looking at providing video of some of the projects that we're doing. I do a lot of how-to, so we're going to be incorporating that into.
Cool things are afoot with Healing Spaces.
That's right.
Are they not?
Yes, they are.
So you know what? We will, when it all starts happening, we'll let you know about that. So, Kat, what else would you like? What would you like to let people know? Anything about what you're doing, about healing spaces, about being a daughter of change, whatever, what's in your heart that you'd like to let?
So, one of the things that I've experienced through, I've always been a random act of kindness kind of girl. I've got lots and lots of, that's another show.
Yeah.
Lots of stories
that's
of random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
But so here's what I found. Now, and I know I shouldn't keep saying this, but it is the reality that, I'm a single mom with raising two now teenage boys on my own. And I am on a very, I don't want to say strict budget, but money doesn't, I don't have any trees where money is growing in my backyard, if you will. And, people have said to me in the past, well, instead of giving that money away, maybe you should hang on to that for yourself, Kat. And I'm like, no, that's never going to happen. Because
it comes back to you.
One of the things I've discovered, let's say I'm having a really crappy day, and first of all, the universe always provides me with somebody who's having a crappier day.
Yeah.
So I realize
that
my crap isn't really that crappy.
Right?
But when I'm having a really down day, or we all have them, I will do a random act of kindness, and that's sort of what Healing Spaces is about.
Yeah.
Is paying it forward. Is like doing whatever your talent is. Doing something, shoveling your neighbor's driveway or whatever.
Yeah.
And
paying for somebody's lunch.
What happens when you do that is it comes back to you like threefold, tenfold. It really does. It changes the dynamics. It changes your day. And so that might sound a little selfish, like I don't, I'm not doing it for just them. I'm doing it for me too, but
it's okay.
It's amazing.
To the end, right? It's what you're doing. Yeah.
And I think that just like with Healing Spaces, during the Jacob Project back in November, you can't control the whole world. You can't control the craziness in the world.
Right.
But when you give of yourself from your heart, there's nothing better than living. That's what you call true living.
Exactly.
And so I guess that would be my take on where Healing Spaces came from and what we hope to do.
I love that. And you know what? If people could just realize how good it feels to do kind acts, that it feels way better than like kicking the dog or yelling at people about who they voted for on Facebook. No, Facebook is
kicking the dog.
Yeah. Instead of bitching about politics, go do a random act of kindness.
And then share it. Share it on Facebook.
Yeah. And then let everybody know what you did. And then you can bitch about politics. Okay. Yep. And I know that I'm not talking to any people who are watching right now. They're very good. And Toriana has joined us. And Toriana is an unbelievable designer of pocketbooks. Do you know how much I love pocketbooks? You should see her pocketbooks.
Ooh.
You two need to meet as well. So, anyway, everybody, thank you. We're at 31 minutes. I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter because people want to go back and watch them. Or maybe they don't. But this is a good one. And so Ed, before we sign off, does anybody have any questions for Kat? And if you're asking one and I'm not seeing it, because sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, or if you think of one later, I will be in touch with Kat and we'll make sure that gets answered. And I won't try to answer your design questions. I'll really ask Kat. Yeah, paint that bathroom purple. Woo!
Go for it.
Okay, so any questions, anybody? Any
They're
questions,
all being
comments,
quiet.
concerns?
They're like, well, you pretty much said it all. What else can they ask?
Oh, honey, if they only knew what we could do for the next... I think most of the people on here know that I could keep going, and so can you. Guilty by association.
We could start a new show. They start talking and never stop.
Exactly. The filibuster show. Oh, my God.
It's now day 87, and they still talk.
That's right. They haven't eaten and fallen off their chairs. Send food. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. We love your support.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, and you know where to find the website now. And if you would like to donate or share information or volunteer. If you'd like to volunteer or if you have somebody perhaps that might be a good recipient of the Healing Spaces. So
love to help out. Talking to love to have you helping out too.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So who brought the cool girl? I brought the cool girl. Just saying. Okay. See y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.